Well, welcome to another edition of Living Life in Midlife Radio, right here on the Amazing Women of Power Network. And this is your Muse Coach, Pia King, and I am so thrilled to be here today with you and sharing all the wonderful things that we have going on for the rest of the month and into the spring and the summer and then back again to fall and winter. And we're just excited that everything is in divine order. And today I have the privilege, and it is my honor to bring a dear friend on the line who is an amazing artist and a musician. And I don't know if, he's really out there. He's a little shy. I think he's a little shy because I think he should be out there a whole lot more. And so, oh, my goodness. Ewayne, can you just come on and just tell us a little bit about more of what you do? I said I wanted to bring some of your music to the stage. So after you give us a little background and history, I think that, we'll be so touched to learn more about you. And I also need for you to speak up a little bit so that we can
okay.
everything that you have going on. And how did you get started? And just, you go ahead. I'm just so excited. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I thank you very much. I'm very honored to be on your show. And I started back when I was 9 years old. That was when I first played the piano, and that was back in St. Louis, back in quite a few years ago. And I've been out here in Colorado now. I was in the music business about 20 years ago. I got out of it. I played about eight different instruments, and but then I got back into it when a friend of mine where I work with USA Today, the newspaper, and he plays piano on we have outdoor pianos here in town, and I hadn't touched the keys in about 18 years, I'd say, and he wanted me to hear how he played, so I went out and listened to him, and then he says, Wayne, I want you to play something, and I'm like, my gosh, I haven't touched the keys in years, and so I did, and of course, it was like, I guess, riding a bicycle is the only way I can explain it. And when I hit my last note, I heard this applause behind me of about 10 or 15 people, and I was just like, oh my gosh! And he was going, I want to learn your technique. I want to do this, and I was like, I said, I am very rusty, but I said I'd be very happy to teach you sometime. Then the next 2 weeks, I took some time and thought about what I was going to do, and it came to me. It's like, the good Lord has given me this gift, this talent, and I've really just been sitting on it. And it's like I'm going to do something with it because I care about the world, and if my music can be a blessing to the world, and where it will touch people, and because that's the only way I want to play is with a passion from within me. And so I decided and wrote a 5-year plan, and I'm following it to the T, and maybe I'm right on button with it right now after my first year.
That is so awesome. We've talked, maybe not face-to-face all the time, and we face a whole lot, and just my show is all about finding your passion and stepping into your greatness. And so we're really all about encouraging and motivating and getting folks to step out of that lack mentality that you can get caught up in here in this realm.
Absolutely.
And so
that's very true.
Yeah.
And I first came to know, and I knew your husband a couple years ago, I think, maybe 3 years back. Time flies by. And I used to read his posts and with Black History and with the people he would put on there, and it just really stood out to me, and I thought it was fantastic. And then I hadn't heard from him in a while, and then all of a sudden you came along, and of course he's still one of my friends on Facebook, but and you came along with this offer to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I would be very honored, and here's where we are today. And of course, a lot of things have happened in this last year, and this year is already taken off in a lot of positive ways with the music. But as you mentioned, in our lives, we have to find that passion. Everybody has a passion or a gift of some sort, whether it's being just kind in a certain way that others don't know how to be that kind. and to express that out with others and reach out and touch others that way.
Yeah, I agree, and that's important. So, Elaine, just tell me, I see on your website that you call your music minimalist music. And
Correct.
what does that really, I mean, I have a feeling of what, because I'm just tingling all over because I cannot wait to play some of it for the audience. But tell me a little bit more about what that is.
It's not a very popular term. And of course, it was used back in the early 1900s. One of my most favorite mentors that I follow, and some have compared my music similarities to him, is Ludovico Einaudi, and he's from Italy and he's known worldwide. But the term minimalist music means elegance and openness, and the works are based on a repetition of very short figures. And so, I mean, it's the simplest and basic way of expressing what minimalist music is. I always tell people, if they don't know, it's between classical and New Age. So.
And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So I'm going to play a little bit right now because I think folks need to hear it because of what it just, when I first played one of the songs that's on your website,
Sure.
I immediately, I don't even know, I can't even explain that feeling, but I was so touched, and I felt so calm and so at peace. And it could have been, I've been sharing on my show that 2014 was a trying year for me. I was going through some things, and the clients that I was seeing, they were going through some things. And, you know, I always say that everything is energy. Your thoughts and your words,
yes.
Everything is energy. And even I had to stop seeing my clients for a little while because I was also taking in the stuff that they were going through. And so I know that you've got to be whole if you're going to help others. And so I needed to take that break. And so when we connected again and you said, hey, go to my website, I said, okay. I went to your website, and I was already amazed. But then when I played the music, whatever I was going through that particular day, I was just at ease. It was at peace. So if you just bear with me a little bit, I want to play just one of those so that they can hear you. Is it Blue Moon is your current album?
Well, that's the name of the album, and it's one of the cuts on the tracks on the album. I've got here in Fort Collins, I have two of my songs in the top 10 charts, number 2 and number 5 right now. And then I just found out on one of the places I go venture to, and it's associated with musicians from all over the world. My one song called Remembrance is all over the world, and just going, I'm very humbled everything I hear and what I'm hearing from people and from other musicians, and it almost brings me to tears. I just am very humbled to be able to share and bring my passions out. And but you go ahead and you play the piece that you were looking for. And
I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to let that play a little bit in the background. That is
sure.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you very much.
Where did that come from? You can
Well,
feel that.
I had my first public appearance last May, as far as a show in a place called the Atrium here in Fort Collins, and when I play, I write it on my one Facebook page, not the one that you're familiar with, but the other one with the music, and I let other musicians know whatever you're playing, make sure you do it from your heart and passion, even when you're practicing. Because if you do it when you're practicing, when you perform, you're going to deliver your soul to the audience. And that is the only way I like to play. I mean, there's been practice sessions alone even that sometimes I reach deep within, and it happens to me where tears touch me, and it's just bringing myself out to others. And I think my mother mentioned that I gave her a studio copy of my album already, which is, by the way, is scheduled to be released on April 13th. It'll be worldwide released. And but she explains it. She goes, Wayne, after I've heard this over and over, she goes, that's you. She goes, you're bringing everything out from within you and in your music. And I've had other friends tell me, they say, Wayne, you've been away for almost 20 years in music, and it's all coming out right now. And when I hear others that have heard my music, as you've expressed for yourself, and that's what I said earlier, that if I can touch others with music, and it doesn't have to be with words, but people are in certain situations, and I've heard responses that are so humbling to me. It just, they say, I heard your one song and it just made me cry. And I was just like, they never even seen me play, but yet they heard the music. And that's the biggest compliment or touching thing a person can say to a musician. We're our own worst critics in the art industry, but sometimes I look, I'm like, oh my gosh, And then I've even gone back to, the music I write, the inspiration I get is on a moment of what I lived, of people I've met, experiences I've had in my life, and it's just the beginning. This first album is just the beginning. I have a new one that'll be coming up, starting as soon as this album is released. It'll be called No Turning Back. And so I've already got some pieces ready for that, and I will share that with you someday here soon. but my music comes from deep within, and it's the only way I can explain it. I play it with passion and from my heart and soul.
So that's just amazing. And I would say, and I don't know if you would agree, but we're all connected on some level. And I think the best way that people connect, that, we're not mad at each other and all the stuff that's going on in the world and the anger and the hatred, there's a lot of love there too. But music and food, and especially music, connects us. And your music connects people. We've never met face to face, but I feel like I've known you forever through your music. Have you experienced that with others?
Oh my gosh, as I say, I'm just so humbled by your words, and then what I've heard from many others around the world. As I mentioned, I've had words from Finland just in the last 24 hours. Finland, France, Belgium, Germany, Australia, New Zealand on the piece that I just put on at a place, and it's the piece I was telling you called Remembrance. And when I read those words, and these are other musicians that are from those countries, and when I hear those things, it just is that's what I sought to achieve. But of course, I'm doing it in a natural way because it's how I really feel, and I don't want to just play a piano or an instrument. I want to deliver the music. And to me, you said it correctly. No matter where we are in this world, who we are, let all the prejudices disappear, let all the hatreds and feelings people have towards one another. No matter where we are in this world, music is a universal language. I truly agree with that. Other great musicians have been able to demonstrate that, as in people like Yanni. I mean, he's played in China, in the Forbidden City, in India. I mean, all over the world. And the person I know, Ludovico Einaudi, has done the very same. A very good a good friend of mine, Michael Allen Harrison. He's based out of Portland, and he's played all over the world, and he's helped guide me through things. And I'm not alone. There's many of us out there. We have a hurting world out there, and you know that as well as I do. And if there's a way, without putting any supplication on people that, hey, you've got to listen to this or do this, you don't. But if they open up even just enough to say, hey, listen, my gosh, the music itself catches you, and that's what other people's music has done to me. And the gift that I've been given, I want to utilize it in that same way to reach not only here and where I live or in the United States, but around the world, and it is doing that.
It definitely is. I wonder, we don't have that much time, and I definitely want you to be able to share how people can get in touch with you, how they can get your music, go into your website. But I don't know. I want to pick to listen to next, Passionate Dreams. What would you like?
And Passionate Dreams, it came to me within that 2-week period that I discussed or mentioned with you, that I reached deep inside of myself. I took walks alone and said, okay, you know where you want to go. Make the plans, and don't just say it. Write them down. And I urge that to anybody, whatever their passion or dreams are, because we all are different and on different journeys, on different paths. But take whatever that dream is you're seeking, write it, write the situations down, write a 2-year period, a 5-year period, and where you want to see yourself. And then every 6 months or even 4 months, go over that and rewrite it again and see where you're at. And you can achieve it. You first look in the mirror at yourself and learn how to love yourself, forgive yourself, and say, hey, I have something I can offer others, even if it's just to one person. That one person is a beginning. And I'm just very grateful for people like yourself and others that I've been meeting in my travels this last year. And as I mentioned to you, and I state to all my friends, it's, hey, this is only the beginning. I'm just, here I am. I'm not afraid to mention I'm going to be 62 this year. Hey. So it does not matter how old you are. Never give up. If you fall, get up and stand up and continue on, because you can do it, and anyone can do it. And I just believe in myself. I always do my best to give confidence in others and tell them, hey, I believe in you too. You can do it. I know you can. But I really thank you for this opportunity very much.
You're so welcome. So I'm going to bring it up, ladies and gentlemen. Ewain is playing right here, Passionate Dreams. And you know that's what we talk about, living your dreams. Wayne, if you don't mind, I'm going to let it play softly in the background for us. But if you could tell us, where are you going to be this year? How can we find you and listen to you and come and see you, and how can they reach out to you?
Well, right now, I've been doing a lot of home performances. I did one down in, I did a major stage event down in Phoenix, Arizona in September. I do have some home performances scheduled here in Colorado, one in Colorado Springs, February 14th, and another one in Denver on February 28th. I am working, I do everything on my own. I did my whole website. I do all my marketing, my scheduling. I do everything, and everything I've designed, it's all been on my own. And so it's been a project to take on, but I know where I'm seeking and what I would like to do. Now, the way for anyone that wants to keep up on where I'm going to be later this year, go to www.ewanea.music.com, and that's spelled EWAYNEA music.com, and that'll take you to my website. And I keep it up to date currently all the time. And if you want to get a hold of me for performance or to our stage performance, I'm very open for those. You can get a hold of me at my email, and that again is Ewanea, which is EWAYNEA .music@gmail.com.
This is just lovely. So, Ewanea, tell us, what made you, did Colorado call to you? What made you locate there?
Well, as I mentioned originally, I'm from St. Louis, and my parents, when I was my first time ever in Colorado was when I was 12, and I fell in love when I was 12, and I told my parents, I said, when I become of age or I can afford it, I'm going to move to Colorado. And it wasn't, it was around the age of 2021, I had the money, and that's where I've been. I've been out here now going on 41 years, 42 years. And
that into existence.
I still love St. Louis, and that's where my mother lives. My father passed away 11 years ago, but I know he's in heaven listening, and he's smiling. So,
we're all smiling. That's just love. I can't wait to put this out and meet you face to face and see if I can get out to Colorado. That's been one of the places I've wanted to go, and I intend to get there in 2015. New thing.
Would look forward to meeting you and James very much. Be an honor to meet both of you. Absolutely.
So one more time, give us your website.
It's www.ewaneamusic.com.
And what about your music Facebook page?
Okay. I don't know that. It's, of course, the music Facebook page is Ewanea, the way it's spelled. I just spelled Ewanea, EWAYNEA, and then just space music. And they can find my music. Of course, you can connect through my website on the contact page on my Facebook page as well. And my CD will be announced. I just put that out today, announced of its April 13th release on both of those pages and all of Facebook I have. And so it's, and whoever would like to get a CD, just contact me. You can do that, as I say, through my email or through the Facebook music page. And there is a mailing list if they would like to get on that on my Facebook music page. Just leave your email. I will get in touch with you. That I can guarantee.
Ewan, thank you so much. I am so humbled and honored that you joined us here today on the Amazing Women of Power Network, right here on Living Life and Midlife Radio. And this is Pia King, your Muse Coach, and I'm going to leave you with Somewhere, Miko from Somewhere, composed by our very own, my special friend, Iwani. Thank you for joining me, my friend.